I'm quite a big fan of Western films, but I haven't seen that many John Wayne films. So I'm trying to watch some more. And of course, if you have any recommendations for favourites, feel free to let me know. The Trail Beyond is, I think, the second or third John Wayne film I've seen. And honestly, I wasn't sure how I felt about it. I kind of liked it, didn't think it was amazing, but I was reading the comments on YouTube because it's obviously out of copyright. Some kind person has uploaded it on YouTube, this amazing channel. I think it's called Cult Cinema Classics, and they've uploaded a lot of classic films, this being one of them. And a lot of the comments on YouTube were praising this film to the hilt, saying how amazing it is and how brilliant John Wayne's performance was, which it is. His performance was very good, and I thought, oh, did I just miss something? Did it just not speak to me in the way it did other people? But then it's only got 5.3 out of 10 on IMDb, and that's across just under 900 reviews and ratings, which is not a terrible rating, but certainly that's not the average rating of a film that is well loved. So I'd love to know what you think of this, if you agree with my opinions, if you love it more than I did, or maybe even if you liked it less. It was released in 1934, directed by Robert N. Bradbury, with a screenplay by Lindsley Parsons based on the story The Wolf Hunters by James Oliver Curwood. I haven't read the story. If you've read it and would like to explain how it compares, please feel free to do that. The description from IMDb sums this up pretty nicely. John Wayne's character is called Rod Drew, and the description is as follows. Rod Drew hunts for a missing girl and finds himself in a fight over a gold mine as well. That's a pretty classic Western narrative. We have this one prominent female character. Well, I guess she's missing, so she's not that prominent, but usually Westerns don't have too many prominent female characters. There's usually one, maybe two. And he's actually looking for this missing miner as well, and his daughter, and he does this alongside his friend Wabi, who is brilliantly played by Noah Beery Jr. Really great characters. I really liked Rod Drew as a character. I thought he was quite fascinating. Not the most complex character, not my favourite Western character, but certainly I enjoyed John Wayne's performance. And very quickly, the action kicks in, and they begin to find various things on their adventure that throw them not necessarily off their trail, but in different directions. And there are, of course, various threats to their safety that I won't go into too much detail about because I don't want to ruin too much of it. It's only 55 minutes in length, which I was really shocked by. Not necessarily because it's too short. I feel like actually it covered everything that needed to be covered. And massive credit to it. Films nowadays go on for way longer than they need to, but this one, because it didn't pad it, there's no fluff, there's no filler. It moves from A to B to Z really quickly, really effectively. It's basically action non-stop, and the pacing is brilliant. So actually, this is a great example of a film that knows it doesn't need to be longer than it is. It knows it can tell the story in a decent amount of time. It's still a feature-length film, but, barely. And it doesn't need to fill it with padding just for the sake of doing that. I don't know if there was a specific reason why it was under an hour. Even in the 30s, not that common for a film to be under an hour when it's something that could be as complex as a Western. But nevertheless, even though the timing surprised me, it worked very well. So I'm praising it a lot. I have a lot of praise for it. But when I compare it to other Westerns that I've seen and some of my favourite Westerns, it just wasn't as interesting. The narrative wasn't as well developed. Maybe even the acting wasn't that great compared to other Westerns I've seen. That's not to say anything against John Wayne's performance or anybody else's performance. Although there was one stage punch. One of the characters got punched or slapped, I can't remember what it was, and it was just so obviously a stage slap. It looked very unrealistic. But generally speaking, the acting was very good. The way the scenes were shot were very effective. Some gorgeous horses in this as well. Very atmospheric, brilliantly action-packed from start to finish. So why do I not rate it as highly as others? I think it is just down to personal preference, the kind of narratives I like, and I have to say, I do actually like some of the slower scenes in Westerns, where you get a chance to absorb the surroundings, and you can almost feel the tumbleweed. I do actually appreciate those moments, and there's not a lot of that going on here, but that doesn't work against the film. It's just something that I do actually enjoy. The music as well didn't stand out to me as being that prominent, which on one hand is not a bad thing. It means it's not bad, but it also means it didn't stick out to me as being noteworthy. But nevertheless, The Trail Beyond, I enjoyed it well enough. It's an interesting narrative. It definitely knows how to pace itself. It's very action-packed. John Wayne gave a good performance. Across the board, that was the case. I liked it. Would I watch it again? Well, certainly if I was in the mood for a Western and didn't have too much time, this seems like the perfect opportunity. If, like me, you have short attention spans, or a short attention span, The Trail Beyond can definitely meet that criteria. I enjoyed it. Not my favourite. I clearly don't rate it as highly as what some people do, but then based on IMDb, maybe I rate it more than some people. Let me know what you think of it. If you haven't seen it, as I said, pretty sure the YouTube channel is called Cult Cinema Classics. Definitely check it out. I think it's one you'll enjoy.